I'm here with Madison Neely, riding instructor and trainer here at Peachtree Equestrian Center right here in Calabash. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for
and
having
we're
us.
excited to really see this whole place because we've never had anywhere like this on our show. So thanks for letting us come out and see everything.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming along.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about just where your love from horses come from. When did this all start and why do you still do it today?
Right. Well, that's a great question. I started riding when I was probably 5 years old, and I got my first horse then. And it all started at that point. And then from there, I just continued with riding lessons, going to horse shows, keeping up with having that one horse for a good while. And then basically, after high school, I started kind of moving towards teaching riding lessons.
Okay.
So when I was probably 17 years old or so, I was actually CHA certified. And that's kind of a big thing, especially with safety, so that riding instructors they have safety standards, and you're able to coach to a certain level. Of course, you can go over that level, but that's kind of neat, especially when you work for somebody, for them to know that you have this expertise and the safety in mind. And that was when I was 17. So,
okay, so you've been doing this for a while and kind of an expert for a while now.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what we have going on here today. What, in the background, I know there's a lot of kids and even adults taking care of some of the horses. So what exactly are they doing?
Well, these kids, at least most of them here, are here for one of our summer camps. Normally the summer camps run Monday through Friday. We do a couple weeks throughout the summer. They're here from normally about 9 in the morning until 12, and they learn how to groom. They go for, they ride, they play a couple games, they may do a trail ride, so we kind of mix it up a little bit, make sure they have fun.
Yeah.
We'll do some arts and crafts as well, so you can see some of the kids here grooming. A couple of them are boarders, so they own their horses as well.
Okay.
But for the most part, most of these horses are school horses, so basically horses that are owned by Peachtree and ridden by lesson students.
Okay, so you mentioned trail rides, so that's one of the services that y'all have here. What are some of the other services that y'all do?
Okay, so aside from trail rides, of course, we offer boarding. It's full care boarding, and that's a monthly fee, of course, and we take care of all of the grain, hay, watering. General care, we always make sure the horses, are not injured. If they are, we make sure to contact the owners and the vets, if that's needed. So that's also helpful. So, your horse is being well taken care of while they're here with us.
Okay.
And we can do, extra services if needed, depending on what the situation may be. We also offer riding lessons. We do private riding lessons and group riding lessons. I try and keep the students to where they're about at the same skill level. So that way, we can work on the same thing. And that kind of gives the students a chance to take a little break while, maybe the other student is, is being talked to or, being shown something or explained something to. That's kind of nice as well. And group lessons are a little bit less expensive than private lessons. Generally, when we have beginner students come in, we always suggest doing private riding lessons at first. And that just helps to make sure that we can get the basics down, especially with, the safety in mind. We like to make sure that we don't just toss them in the ring with, 4 or 5 other students. We make sure they understand, they can control the horse well. And then
definitely something that safety has to be a big part of.
Definitely, because, we're dealing with animals. They have a mind of their own. So we want to make sure that, our riders know how to maneuver the horse, how to safely handle them on the ground and in the saddle, too. All of that stuff is very, very important to us and everybody out here.
Good, yeah. So I know we're going to go out and take a look at some of the kids and adults or whoever is going to be riding today. But just to wrap things up here, so you did say that y'all board horses.
We do.
And then for people who are interested in the trail rides, the horses are already here. Y'all have horses to ride.
So we have horses that are owned by Peachtree here, and they are the horses that we use for trail rides. So you don't have to bring your own horse. You just ride ours. Generally, we have them all attached up and ready to go. So all you do is we go to the indoor ring, we get everybody on, make sure they're comfortable steering, starting, stopping, steering, all of that. and then we go out of the ring and we head out to the trails.
Okay. And then, like you said, for boarding, y'all take care of and keep up with the horses while they're here. Is it something that the owners can come in and see the horses whenever they want to as well?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Owners can come at any time during the day or night to check on their horses and ride. We have 2 rings, a smaller ring, schooling ring out front, and then a main ring, which has a huge set of jumps. And then, of course, we have the indoor ring. So they're more than welcome to use any of those rings.
Oh, good.
And then we have our trails, of course. We have over 85 acres of trails.
Okay.
And they're more than welcome to go out by themselves, or they can go out with a group. Lots of times, early mornings, especially in the summertime, people tend to come out then because it's cooler. And we try and get big groups out and, have fun and go ride together.
Good, very good. Well, I'm excited to go see what they're doing outside in the ring. So do you mind taking a look over there?
Yeah, we'll go ahead.
Let's go.
Thanks.
Okay, Madison, we're here in front of one of the rings here at Peachtree. You were showing us some of the stalls before we left. Great stalls, a lot of room. There's just so many, too, so I know that y'all could have a lot of horses here. Obviously, there's some stuff going on behind us. Tell us a little bit about what everyone's doing back here.
Well, what we have here are a couple of riding students and boarders with their horses. Some are Peachtree horses, and they're basically just riding around, schooling a little bit. Some of them will probably jump. I do specialize in hunter jumper lessons, so all of these girls are actually riding a hunt seat at the moment. We do offer a little bit of Western lessons too, though, but we tend to kind of go towards the hunt seat discipline. So all of the girls out here are mainly at different levels. Some of them are on their own horses and some are on farm horses that are owned by Peachtree. Basically, we start out, of course, we offer beginner type lessons, intermediate type lessons, and advanced lessons. Each rider generally has a certain goal that they want to get to, whether it's horse showing on the A circuit or just going to local schooling shows around the area, an hour or so away. We travel to lots of horse shows around, summertime, throughout the year too. Generally, we're at shows once to twice a month. And it just kind of depends on how often each rider would like to participate in horse showing. Hopefully at some point we'll end up hosting some shows here, whether it's a schooling show or maybe a North Carolina rated C show. We're kind of in the midst of talking about that.
Sure, yeah.
So that would be pretty exciting here too.
Okay, so people can come out here and be a beginner and have never really ridden horses before, or they can be competitive and come out here to train as well. Okay, and you said all ages, so young to...
So my youngest student is probably 5 years old.
Okay.
And of course she'd be a beginner. When kids stick to riding, it doesn't take long for them to catch on.
Okay.
And especially even if they don't keep up with it, at least having that foundation of the basics and doing everything correctly and kind of learning the correct way, it's much easier to pick it up, say, if they decide to start riding again when they're a teenager or a couple years later down the road.
Good.
Sometimes we have riders that are adults and they come out, they haven't ridden in years and years and years, but they want to start back, so we see a lot of that as well.
Okay.
So I have lots of riders from beginner, up into the advanced levels. So it all just kind of depends on what type goal each rider does have set or what they want to kind of
accomplish there. Okay. So what is the program? I know that we were speaking with Gloria, who owns Peachtree, and she had mentioned a program that y'all do for the wounded warriors. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We offer a weekend for wounded warriors. It's kind of like a recreational weekend. And for more information, they can contact us, and Gloria can get them in contact with who they need to speak to. But it's free of charge. I think it's a condo in maybe Cherry Grove. And horseback riding is involved, and they get to come out, and ride, whether it's on a trail or maybe in the ring for a little bit. That way they can kind of have something fun to do free of charge.
How wonderful. Well, very good. I know we could go on and on in this interview because there's just so many things that y'all offer. Tell our viewers your contact information, where you're located, and a telephone number in case they have any questions they want to reach out to you for.
Sure. Our farm name is Peachtree Equestrian Center. The address is 810 Hickman Road, Northwest, and that's in Calabash, North Carolina. Our phone number is 910-287-4790.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It was very exciting to see all this going on, and it's just very entertaining, too. So congratulations on everything that you do and have accomplished so far. I can tell you're very knowledgeable on what you do. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.